Okay, so we've already spent some time understanding what the curriculum standards require, and we've talked about our general education classes, including the UGETSI and the other gen ed classes, and we've also talked about pre-major elective hours. And so you know now what is required to complete your degree. However, when we look down here, we have so much choice for what we use to complete these gen ed hours. And even within the UGETSI hours, how do you know which math would be best for you to take depending on your major? Well, that is where something that is called pathways come in. These pathways were part of the CAA that was created to help make transfer easiest as possible for you students. So in our course class, if you go to course resources, you will see a folder titled Curriculum Standards, Articulation Agreements, and the UNC System Pathways. If we follow that, you've already looked at the curriculum standards, and now we're going to look at the UNC System Pathways. When we go into this folder, there are links to 15 universities of the UNC system and what we call their pathways. Every school is going to do these pathways differently, but they all have the same idea of telling you what courses they would like you to see depending on your major. So I like to look at NC State because a lot of our Wake Tech students like to go to NC State. So if we click on NC State's webpage, it'll open up in a new window. And we get some information here. I do encourage you to look at the degree requirements and the admissions process and program considerations. But then right below that, there are these pathways to degrees. And you can see the name of the degree and if it's a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts. And then if there's any other special information about it. So for instance, accounting has an undeclared and internal auditing, a managerial concentration, etc. One that a lot of students want to go into is psychology. So I'm going to scroll down here to psychology and we'll look at that. You can see that it's a BA in general psychology here at NC State. So when we look at that, lots of different information. One of the things it tells us is that they strongly recommend that you complete your associate degree prior to transferring, and they are assuming that you complete your associate's degree and qualify for the CAA. It also recommends that if you are going into this College of Humanities and Social Sciences, of which psychology is part, that you complete your foreign language requirement prior to enrolling at NC State. So let's look at how they lay this out. NC State lays this out the same way that they would for a student who starts at NC State. They say, this is what we recommend you take the fall semester and the spring semester of your first community college year. And then your fall semester and your spring semester of your second year. And then on the second page, it goes into what you would take once you actually transfer to NC State. We, for the assignment that we're working on now, are not worried about what you're going to take at NC State, but it's useful that they have that there. And what they give you is they give you the specific course prefix and number of what they want you to take at the community college, in this case English 111, and then what it transfers as at NC State. So it transfers over as English 101. They would like you to take a history and then get started on your foreign language requirement. They also recommend a geology and math, which specifically the statistics. Then they give you some more details. I think it's useful to notice like there's some preferences here. Even though people enrolling in the psychology degree would probably be doing the Associate of Arts, and you only technically need to do one math to complete your Associate of Arts, they would like you to take two maths, Math 171 and 152. They recommend that you get sociology and public speaking. And finally, it looks like they would like you to take two different sciences, a biology and a geology. These are the kinds of specifics that can help you decide what to use for your other gen ed hours and your pre-major or other required hours. Now let's look at a different school. Going back to this, another common one is, say, East Carolina. So if you look at East Carolina, they may do it, and in fact they do their transfer degree plans completely differently than NC State. Similar idea, if we scroll down to the bottom, they've got them lined up by college. So this time let's go to business. And we'll go into finance. So an Associate of Arts in Finance here. Notice that they have a completely different format, but it's still set up in roughly the same way, where in the fall semester, this is what they would recommend you take, and then the spring semester, they'd recommend you take this. They order it slightly different, where the first column is the ECU course, and then the second or the third column is the community college equivalent. And they aren't really specific if they don't have a preference. They just want you to take a natural science. Math, however, they do get more specific. They would prefer that you go on and get Math 171 or brief calculus done. And so looking and seeing what they do, and then they continue to tell you what you would take if you enroll at ECU. Let me show you one other type of degree standard that we tend to get. And so let's look at app. And when app loads up, you need to follow into this baccalaureate degree plans. There's a slight transition of what people are calling these, whether they're called pathways or baccalaureate degree plans. They're all the same thing. And again, we've got different information. Let's go into chemistry here. So we go into chemistry and they give you, again, lots of different options of kind of what concentration do you want. And we'll just go into chemistry, kind of plain here. This one opens up a PDF, and notice how small it is. We're going to have to zoom in here. And what they do is they just take the degree plan or the curriculum standard, and they say, yes, you're going to need to take it. So as it says on the degree curriculum standard, you need to take English 111 and 112. They say, yep, these are required for you to take. Humanities and fine arts, they just say you're going to need 6 hours, and they don't give us any information over here about whether they would require or prefer any of these. So you could do pretty much any that you wish. But if we scroll down further, we can see that to do chemistry, you're going to definitely have to take Calculus 1. So if you are an AS student and you're in 171 now, go on and prepare to take 172 and get 271 down. Scrolling down further, not surprisingly, they require that you take chemistry as your 2 natural sciences. And then they say other things. They would like you to take physics and get that done. That is something that they would like to see, and they would also like to see the second physics as well. So having this information, it's always in slightly different formats. I'm happy to help you understand what they are looking for, but I hope you can see how useful it is to know exactly what the schools would like you to take when you're choosing courses.